Well, he's known across racetracks in California as the Shark. He is a 6-time champion at Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico, California, 5 times in 410 action, including 4 years in a row. It is Sean Becker who's going to be next on Getting Up to Speed. This broadcast is brought to you by Meat Freaks Jerky Club. Get the best jerky the world has to offer straight to your door by visiting meatfreaksjerkyclub.com. Pick your box and plan, tell them where to ship, and receive and enjoy. Log on to meatfreaksjerky.com and use promo code SPEED for 10% discount. Hello race fans, this is Ben Deathridge, host of Getting Up to Speed. In these interviews, we talk to sprint car drivers from the West Coast or beyond the West Coast that are coming to race, or drivers that are West Coast based that are going elsewhere to race. We hope you enjoy these interviews, and be sure and catch up on all the episodes, whether it be on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or YouTube. Well, joining me now, representing Roseville, California, Sean Becker. Sean, great to have you here on Getting Up to Speed. And I have a feeling this is going to be a wonderful interview.
Well, no, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, for people that don't know you, there's a lot of people that listen to this deal from outside the West Coast, Midwest, East Coast, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. For you, you are quite the decorated individual, especially at Silver Dollar Speedway, where you've won 6 track titles, 5 in a 410, 1 in the 360, former Golden State Challenge champion, 3-time California Civil War Series champion, one of the most decorated drivers in the last couple decades out of the state of California.
I think the word decorated means old in some form. So, no, it's been an absolutely incredible career, something I never would have imagined happening. But, yeah, here we are. And loving every minute of it. It's great.
Seasoned. That might be a better word.
I like it. I like that. That's way better than old.
It's like all the gray hair I have. I call it wisdom hair. It's not gray hair. I earned it through wisdom.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, man, we got kids. Kids bring the gray hair quick, don't they?
Oh, yes. And, talking to you before the air, getting on air for this interview, talking about my 3-year-old and 1-year-old that kind of sort of run the house a little bit was telling me I had to work a little overtime today. So.
Hey, it's their world. We're just living in it, man.
Exactly. Yep. I don't give them everything that they want because I know that can lead to some bad habits. However, it's, you have to be a little diplomatic sometimes.
Oh, I'm with you, buddy. I know exactly where you're at.
Well, talking about your race season for 2022, I had you down for 19 starts in a 360, which resulted in 11 top 10s, 6 top 5s, 5 podiums, and got a victory at Marysville Raceway. And then when it came to 410s, didn't run too much of that, had 7 starts, but 4 top 10s and 2 top 5s, one with the NARC series at Silver Dollar Speedway, and just a local show at Chico. How would you assess how 2022 went?
Yeah, last year was a bit chaotic, really. We kind of, in the off season, we kind of had a plan to run a couple different cars and kind of bounce back and forth through them, and that kind of fell through, like right as the season started. So then it was just kind of a scramble mode, and I have 3 seats in my garage, and I was like going back and forth from all kinds of different rides, and thankful a whole bunch of other car owners gave me an opportunity to run for them. So yeah, it was bouncing back and forth. Didn't really have too much consistency or anything steady going last year, but just kind of happy to still be out there and still racing. So yeah, last year was a bit of a struggle, and luckily we were able to kind of finish the year off with a win in Marysville. Yeah, I think I was talking to my good buddy Troy Hennig, and he was saying that we had a streak going of wins for ever since I started racing sprint cars, and that would have broke my streak of every year with a win if I didn't get that one. So happy to do that in the Dan Monhoff mobile.
It can be tricky to run for multiple car owners to take in the first place. But to have so many unknowns and sort of ride jump on the fly, so to speak, that's got to be enormously stressful. And to know, things happen, right? So it's no one's fault necessarily, but it can be extremely stressful as well.
Yeah, for sure it could be, but also like when you're running for somebody new, like you have no idea what to expect, and like sometimes like magic happens. Like
Hmm.
I'll jump in a car for the first time, and everything just seems to hit right, and we'll get a win right off the bat. And other teams, you jump in a car and you can tell that the speed's there, the equipment's there, but we just struggle to kind of break through and get a win. So you just kind of never know what's going to happen. But as long as you're surrounded by good people, like you're out there racing, you're making circles in the dirt, you're having fun. So it's all good. And then at the end of the day, so yeah, it's stressful maybe, but still enjoy it every minute of it.
Yeah, I think I said stressful already, but I think I meant frustrating. Like I said, things
Yeah.
happen. Teams go away, or plans change. Unfortunately, it's it's sometimes a rat race world a little bit when it comes to racing and everything. But yeah, you mentioned something really interesting too, is magic can strike off the bat, because I've heard from several drivers, and feel free to give your take on this. Sometimes a team, gives you a shot, or gives you an opportunity and an offer, and the strings attached to it is, you got to drive with what we're giving you, or vice versa. Tell us what we need to do, and we'll work around it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting dynamic for sure. A lot of guys can be very particular on what type of car they're running, setups and everything like that. I'm kind of just the dummy in the corner with my helmet bag and race suit in hand and saying, "Hey, you got to ride?" Like
Sure.
I'll try to run the heck out of it. Like I don't really bring too much um, as far as like advice or telling people what not to do and what to do. I've been surrounded kind of by a lot of good car owners and a lot of good crew chiefs who kind of they have their idea of how they set up the car, and I'll just kind of jump in and I try to keep as open minded as I possibly can. But then and just however I feel, try my best to kind of explain to them what I think the car's doing, and maybe what it needs to get faster, and then we try to go from there basically. But yeah, I definitely don't have like a base setup of how I need my car to be whenever I go race for someone. So you have to try to be kind of loose and fluid and try to adapt with whatever hand you're being dealt with, and give it your best.
Hmm. No doubt. Got to be a little flexible.
No, for sure.
And you don't have to answer this question, but when you were having to make that adjustment of like, gosh, I'm not driving for this team, I'm gonna have to find something. Was there a lot of cold calls being made, or was there sort of a buzz in the air and people approaching you?
No, yeah, there, man. I probably to a fault of my own. Like throughout my career, I haven't been very good at being aggressive and maybe going after certain rides that maybe I feel like I deserved or um, earned the right to be in. I haven't really made too many cold calls, but usually something always kind of turns up and happens. I did sure like throw out a couple texts every now and then when it was kind of silly season last year. Like
Hmm.
some guys were jumping in and out of rides or moving on to something else, so it was a bit in flux at times last year. So something was always happening, and yeah, I would throw out a text like, "Hey, I'm if there's ever an opportunity, I'd love the opportunity to get in your car or whatever." And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but yeah, I definitely probably needed to do a better job, like throughout my whole career, of kind of getting on the phone and trying to go get what I wanted.
Well, and that brings up the next question. For 2023, do you have a solid lock on what team or teams you're going to be driving for this year? And are you going to be chasing anything in particular?
So the main ride I will be in is Don Bjork in that 7B car. Um, Brad Bumgarner's kind of heading up that deal. Um, we raced handful of times last year. Kind of finished out with Trophy Cup, and man, that car's super fast. Like it's top notch equipment, great guys. Like Brad Bumgarner kind of heading the deal. Like he has so much knowledge and experience with racing in general, but particularly wing sprint cars on dirt. Like it can we can be a really good team. I think they got a 410 for this year, so we're looking at almost 30 shows together, like half 410s, half 360s, and just kind of doing hit and miss.
Okay.
Kind of my whole career, I've really been like a good point guy. Like I'm usually not like not like super like throwing out crazy win numbers or anything, but I'm always typically solidly in the top five or so. So running for points has always been kind of my forte, really, like my whole career. But this year we're not really doing that. Just kind of focusing on man, NARC's got a great schedule this year and a lot of high paying money shows that they're doing. So super excited for that. SCCT, they have a great purse like that goes all the way through the field and a lot of big events, a lot of memorial races too. So yeah, main focus will be in the 7B car. Dan Monoff still is going to want to run some. We tried to get that one race in at Marysville earlier this year. That got rained out, unfortunately. But yeah, maybe we can get to 10 shows or so, maybe a dozen with him. So we're looking around 40 shows with those two cars. And that's about it for me for 2023.
Okay. Um, I know that you said you weren't focusing on points, but for sure some races that you're going to try and make this year. Is there anything particular?
Um, Mainly just kind of like the high paying money shows that NARC's offering. Like,
Okay.
um, we are planning on trying to go to Tulare for the high limit race um, in March in a couple weeks coming. Hopefully this rain holds out and that'll be a great show. It's pretty awesome that Brad Sweet, Kyle Larson are bringing that series and that kind of status and acclaim to California. So looking forward to that. And yeah, just trying to hit and kind of like mainly Chico shows, um, throwing Hanford, Tulare, Placerville, Petaluma, mainly things like that. And then with Dan Monoff, probably more focus on Placerville and maybe some Marysville shows and Petaluma possibly.
Okay. Okay. And I guess taking a couple steps back and looking at the landscape of things in California, 360s have always been healthy and have been doing wonderfully. 410s are starting to follow in that direction really fast and really quick, and that's got to be amazing to see because it was a little scary there for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of where my heart is 410 racing. Like growing up as a kid, watching my dad race, like he was a 410 guy. Like whenever NARC came in town, like there was big fields, like just Hall of Fame drivers. Um, and then if you want to go World of Outlaw racing, like you have to be in a 410. You gotta that's how you compete with the best in the world. So yeah, it was definitely heartbreaking, kind of the decline that the 410 racing has had kind of on this West Coast because that's kind of really been the only coast that's really been hurting that series. Like they seem to be pretty healthy everywhere else, but yeah, like when Chico kind of stopped doing their local um, 410 Friday night point series and switched to 360. Is like a lot of people thought that was going to kind of be the death nail for 410s, like in this region. But yeah, Jim Allen's doing a heck of a job with NARC. Peter Murphy, like everything he's doing, kind of in Hanford and now also in Skagit, just putting in the effort. Like people see that, like car owners, drivers, like they see the effort. They know he's got a tough road to hoe, but yeah, hopefully we can kind of be as strong as they are everywhere else in the country.
Yeah. And I truly do see that. It is going in such a positive direction that it's amazing. It's to put it simply, it's a renaissance. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I like I said, 410s are kind of where it's at. Like that's what I grew up with, and that's kind of where I'd want to be.
Well, it is a racing related question. It's not necessarily non-racing related, but is there going to be a renewed season of Shark Tales with you and Andy Forsberg?
Well, hopefully we can get together some and camp out some more. There's quite a bit of 2-day shows and everything, but man, like it's kind of getting to the point now. Like my youngest son Travis, like he just turned 8. He's playing like 3 sports currently at the time right now. In the summer, who knows how many sports he'll be playing at the time. Like it's been tough. Like sometimes like we'll go race on a Friday night, try to camp out that night, do a Shark Tales with Andy. That's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
But then like we're leaving in the morning to go take Travis to a baseball game or a soccer game or whatever. Like, and my daughter's got dance competitions like all throughout kind of the spring and summer. So we're my wife and I, we're running around all the time. Like we're split up half the time, taking one kid one place, the other kid the other. So yeah, it's just pandemonium. Hopefully we can kind of settle down a little bit during the summer, relax and kind of enjoy these 2-day big shows and events that the Northern California series have been adding, and yeah, just kind of relax. And it's nice to kind of sit down with a good friend and just talk racing, do some bench racing together, and yeah, let everybody know how our nights are going, and people seem to be enjoying it.
Yeah, so what I'm referencing to is Shark Tales is sort of like like Sean said, a debrief show with Andy Forsberg, who was one of our first guests, and I'm sure Andy's listening and saying, "Hey, how come you didn't give me a plug?" So here's this, because he does it individually so much, but he and Sean Becker, they do it together. They talk about their nights and they kind of rib each other a little bit, and occasionally they'll have some special guests, but there's a Facebook page for it, correct?
I think so,
Okay.
man. It's so funny. I've been saying for the longest time I'm not on social media. Well, my daughter just got Instagram, so I'm like, well, if she's got Instagram, I better get one too. So
There you go. Yeah.
just got an Instagram account, so like I'm new to this, whatever. Sure. I think my wife has done. She did something. It's either on Facebook or YouTube, trying to get Shark Tales with Andy out there to the world. So
Okay.
it's out there somewhere. I don't know, buddy.
And for people that don't know, Sean's nickname is the Shark. It could be Exciting Shark Tales or something if there's ever a rebrand, because he's Mr. Excitement.
Exactly.
Or I call him Ageless Andy because he looks like he could still play for a high school basketball team or something. So
it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
He makes fun of me all the time. I'm younger than him, but I got way more gray hairs than he has. Like it's just, yeah. It's not fun sitting next to him when you're the ugly guy.
Dorian Gray. He's the Dorian Gray of sprint car racing. There's a painting out there somewhere, as long as he doesn't look at it. So
oh, that's great.
But yeah, so I know Andy, he did it to put himself out there. What inspired you guys to collaborate with each other to make that a possibility?
Well, we were camping out. It might have been Placerville Posse Shootout weekend, and yeah, and typically Andy always kind of does a recap at the end of his night. Usually, like I'll be in bed with my wife late at night, and she'll just start cracking up because she's on her phone watching Andy's replay of
Sure.
what he did that night. So sometimes she'll show me what he's up to. But yeah, he was. We were just out having dinner, and he turned on his phone, started doing a recap of his night, and then pointed it to me because I happened to win that night. And like from then on, it just kind of kept going. Like every time we camped together, like he was going to do the recap kind of with me, and then it just kind of evolved from there. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's a hoop. You should check it out.
Oh yeah, it is completely fun. That Shark Tales with Andy, and I'm pretty sure it's on Facebook and YouTube, so you can definitely, if you're lacking some entertainment in your life, it doesn't matter if the race happened 6 months ago. It's still just as funny. So, speaking of some great things. I only saw you do it a couple times, I think, last year. I don't think I saw you do it this winter, but kind of making sort of, speaking of renaissances, a little bit of a return back to your roots with cage carts at Red Bluff.
Yeah, lucky for me, like my grandpa's still kicking, still building 500 motors for the outlaw carts, and now I kind of got nieces and nephews who've been racing like through the ranks. Like, yeah, my oldest nephew is now racing in the open class with me. Like, it's insane. So we we're always so busy kind of during the winter time. Like, I don't get to get out to Red Bluff too often.
Mm-hmm.
Cycland's almost like never going to happen because
Sure.
our sprint car schedules are so busy. Every weekend we're racing somewhere. So if I can get to Red Bluff like a few times a year, like that's it's good for me. Um, if I can maybe hit Cycleland one or two times in the summer, like it's a surprise. So, but yeah, last year we had a heck of a year. Got a brand new QRC cart, and Grandpa gave me another motor that ripped, and yeah, my brother, he's been racing out there for a long time too, and then he had a heck of a season last year as well. He like Red Bluff has the really cool like last man standing for the
Mm-hmm.
person last person to make the a every single A main, and my brother got that last year. So um yeah, racing with him, get my dad out there, like it's such a family affair. Now my son Travis, he's 8 and so busy with sports he doesn't get to get out there too often, but we got a cart for him, and
Nice.
he's raced just a handful of times in the beginner box stock class. So yeah, he enjoys it. But no, it's such a great family sport, and yeah, I'm very very lucky. I got a great racing family, and just to be out there is pretty lucky.
So, who's your nephew that races in the opens?
Blake Burgess,
Oh, okay, the H2O car.
yeah,
Yeah, there you go. Awesome,
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, he's got some speed, man. Like especially watching him at Cycleland, man, that kid rips the fence like no other.
Yeah,
So like, yeah, the more experience he gets, and especially in Red Bluff is so hard, such tight quarters, um, and a lot of finesse as well. But you also got to be like understanding what's happening around you. Like there's
mm-hmm.
people wrecking, like spinning all the time, and you
Sure.
have to have your eyes set forward and dodge all those just to kind of survive, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's learning a ton, getting a ton of experience, and yeah, he's going to be he's got the speed, so he's going to be winning races pretty soon.
Awesome. Yeah, no doubt. And hopefully maybe see you out there a couple more times, but again, hoping that this wild and wet California weather kind of eases up. I know that you guys definitely need it. However, it's been a ridiculous amount with an incredible snowpack in the Sierras and the Siskiyous, and of course, like everybody in the Sac Valley and the Central Valley, just saturated fields.
Yeah, getting dumped on. Yeah, like you said, it's kind of good for our state, but not good for our racing
Sure.
community. But yeah. So yeah, pick your poison. What are you gonna do? But
Yeah.
yeah, there's definitely been years in the past like this where it would be clear all week long and then rain on the weekends. Like some years are just like that. Hopefully this year we'll be getting to it pretty soon.
No doubt. And then it'll be rapid fire.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Then we're go, go, go and nonstop.
So, as far as any place where people can find sort of any team news or particular news about you, when and where you're going to be racing, or a schedule perhaps that you kind of finalize and unleash, or if there's any apparel, what's the best way for people to hunt that down? Is there a place?
No, yeah, no, I don't know.
Uh,
Like I said earlier, I just got on Instagram. Maybe I need to figure out how to use it and
there we
then
go.
get something going there. Like, yeah, I'm yeah, I'm pretty horrible at that kind of stuff. I do not promote myself very well. Yeah, like I said, I need to go out and get on the phone and go get what I want. But
Hmm.
yeah, I hopefully, yeah, hopefully we can put something together. Kind of get a because really we still are kind of since we're not like following any point series. Um, there's no really kind of set schedule. We kind of just have um, events highlighted, basically. Like, yeah, this would be a good show to get to,
Hmm.
but who knows how that week of work's gonna go,
Sure.
or if we crash the week before, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to take some time off or whatever it is. So it's definitely gonna be a fluid schedule, but yeah, I will do my part and get on it. Maybe go to Instagram, Becker Racing 23, and then yeah, I'll try to stay on top of what I'm doing and when I'm doing it.
All right, sounds good. And as far as individuals or particular people or sponsors that you want to thank that have made things possible for 2023?
Yeah, mainly Don Bjork with Bjork Construction, um, Brad Bumgarner, everything he's doing for the team. Dan Monoff, been racing with him for a really long time, so looking forward to another year together. And then, yeah, thank my wife Lisa. Man, without her support, I wouldn't be able to do this.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming on, Sean, and telling us your story and telling us things that are going to be happening very soon here. We wish you the best of luck for 2023, and we'll definitely be bumping into each other quite a bit, it sounds like.
Yeah, I hope so, Ben. Yeah, we'll have some fun. Hopefully, I can make a trip up north, kind of the Northwest Speed Weeks or something. I know
Sure.
that's kind of been circled on some people's calendars. So yeah, if it happens, who knows? But I know there's a lot of excitement going on, and I know they just put that dirt on Roseburg. I know a lot of people are interested in that. So yeah, lot of excitement. Yeah, hopefully we can meet up soon.
Yeah. Well, take care, Sean. Thanks again.
I appreciate it, Ben. Thanks.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this latest episode of Getting Up to Speed with me, Ben Deathridge. We hope you enjoyed this program. We hope also that you hit the subscribe button and the like button, as that really helps things out, spreads things out. Be sure and share as well on social media so that more people can listen to these great interviews and from these great drivers. Getting Up to Speed is a production of Highside Racing Promotions. For more information, you can check it all out on Facebook at Highside Promotions.